to City Skylines 2. Hope you're having a good day. We are about to get started with our first city. I've been playing the game for a little over a week now, and I think I've gotten used enough to the controls and the new gameplay mechanics to go ahead and start my new first city for the channel. And for that, we are using the Great Highlands map. Probably easily my favorite map of the game. I think it's extremely unique. It definitely offers a bit of a challenge because you're dealing with a little of rough. I won't say the roughest terrain in the game. There are some maps that definitely offer a bit more of a challenge. The starting area of this map is actually relatively flat, and you do actually have some flat plains, although not too flat. As you can see, that you get these rolling hills, but you also get these nice, beautiful cliff sides right up next to the coast, including this one. I don't know how we're gonna go about tackling these. I doubt if we're gonna use any like towns up here, but you get all these beautiful ruins and old mills that strewn across the map. It's supposed to represent, I'm guessing, sort of like the Irish Highlands, or not Irish, Scottish Highlands, or maybe even you could argue, although this is a Northern Hemisphere map, you could argue it's supposed to, you could make an argument, sorry, for it being something reminiscent of even like uh, Australia or even like New Zealand. You sort of get that Lord of the Rings vibe out of all of it. It's a really beautiful map, and I can't wait to play on it. We are going to be doing a European style map, which is something I never did in the first City Skylines. So I've spent the past few days researching what a European map, or like researching like European road layouts and things of that nature, to sort of try and get a more realistic feel to it, and hopefully we can translate that into the game. But if you have any insights, if you do live in Europe, or if you just have a lot of experience building these type of maps, I would greatly appreciate it. Like I said, beautiful map. Starting area is really nice. We are looking at going to probably have downtown be in this sort of bay area uh, with the highway, sorry, cutting through it. I think this would be a nice place for a bit of our downtown, like major metropolitan area. Probably on this side of the map where it comes out to a bit of a peninsula almost. I think sitting the downtown in this area would be really nice. But we are going to have to work our way towards that area. Actually, in this game, you don't technically need to. You can actually unlock the grid spaces over here without even having to connect the two, which is a really nice feature, something I wish they had in City Skylines 1, which you kind of do if you use the 81 tiles mod, but that's a bit of cheating. It's one of the better thought out maps, I feel, uh, although you can see it sort of comes to a halt at the end here. It's a little weird how they end some of these maps, although it's definitely not the worst. At the very least, I wish they at least carried on the roadway so you don't have this blank space out there. But we won't be looking too much into that. But yeah, very nice map, and I can't wait to get started on it. You have this really nice entrance area, although we will probably reconfigure this whole thing. And you do actually have another national road coming down this way. There is a bit of a space we have to work with to be able to get to our rail, at least for inner city connections, and you do have another highway out this way as well. Like I said, really good terrain. It's sort of these rolling hills, which I really like. I think it's going to add to a really cool aesthetic, especially doing a more European style build. But that being said, I'm still trying to get down exactly how to put out European road layouts. It's not like American road layouts, which are very heavily gridded. So I'm going to probably do the road layout off screen and then come back to it once I've done that. So we are going to do a little bit of terraforming to this starting area, and then also laying out the road layout, and then we'll come back when that's all done. So I'll see you in a minute. Alright, so we have gone through, we've done a little bit of terraforming, and we put down our initial road layout. I took some inspiration from some real life places to sort of do this initial grid layout. Obviously, again, I'm going for more European style, so obviously I was looking at European places. Typically, Google Map can be your friend when trying to achieve this. During my putting down the road layouts, I actually unlocked the first milestone, because you in this one, instead of being based on population, City Skylines 2, it's based on experience, and you can actually gain a lot of experience just by putting down roads. I had to keep going back in and deleting roads and whatnot, so it did allow me to level up a little bit quicker than normally, and you can actually cheese this by just, I've actually done it before by just keeping laying down roads and then deleting them, and you can easily get to level 2 or 3 this way before even starting a town. But we did reach the first milestone, and we did unlock roundabouts. As you can see, we did go in and add a few of the large roundabouts, so it sort of worked out for us so we could get these in right away. That way we don't have to worry about it. So the idea was we have this main couplet that's coming off right off the highway that's probably going to veer off and head towards these outskirts of town where another national highway is coming down, as well as the railroad over here, as well as another river. Then we have another smaller road that's going to come up and come into the countryside a little bit here. And from that road, we continued on this highway here, although we only had to be able to use regular side streets for this. And we also terraformed out a little bit of section which we're going to connect up here for our industrial area that's going to sit next to the river here. We did go ahead and give it a retaining wall as well, just to give it a more industrial vibe over here. Now we are going to have to change some things. I don't like how this is coming up either. So we still got a little bit of playing around to do over here to make things look the way we want them to look. I am going to just go ahead and flatten out this area. We can always play around with it going forward, but I do want to just continue that on. There we go. Turn that back on. So this is going to be an industrial area, and we are going to go ahead and probably expand it right away, because with the first milestone we did also get 3 map tiles to unlock, and probably that's going to be one of the first ones I'm going to want to do, I think. And of course we made a downtown section here. Now I did pre-measure the cemetery, which it actually worked out, because that is going to be sort of our staple piece as you come down the main avenue here. And you have another few avenues, like you have a little bit of a couplet system right here that comes around, as well as one that goes all the way around the cemetery here as well. And a little suburban section, which I'm hoping I'm going to be able to squeeze the elementary school in here, and another suburban neighborhood out here. Again, most of these neighborhoods taking inspiration from Rio Designs, and as you can see, there's a lot of paths that I've placed down. This is just to help block out zoning. It's a little trick you can do to make sure zoning comes in, like, because if I had zoning coming in on both sides of this street and then this street over here, it would have made the zoning awkward here and thrown it off a little bit. But by putting this path in, it makes it so the zoning only goes on here. One of the things I missed from City Skylines 1, one of the additions very much towards the end, was allowing zoning on either side of the road, where you could pick and choose what zoning you wanted, or which side of the road you want zoning on. I'm surprised it didn't make its way into this game. I'm sure we're eventually going to get it, but it is a little bit surprising, especially seeing as I was for sure that was going to be a staple of the game, and that's why they added it into City Skylines 1, but that doesn't seem to be the case. We did leave a little bit of room up here, because I did think this was going to be a perfect spot for us to add, again, hoping we have enough space here. We left enough space. I think this would be a really good place for the train stations. Everything I've read about European towns in my research for doing this said that Europeans tend to favor train networks over like road networks. So we'll see how that works out. If there's any Europeans watching this video, feel free to comment whether that is the case. I'm pretty sure it is, because you do see that a lot. Pretty much every small European town I've ever seen pictures of, at least, seems to have a train network or a train station that comes through. And like I said, we have another small suburban frame up here. I think I did mention that. Most of these gridded frames are going to be more of a medium and high, well, pretty much medium density. I don't really want any high density into this town. And then eventually we're going to expand the highway here to veer off this way, and which means we're going to have another intersection here that comes off. And I thought it would be neat to add in a back road into the suburban area, trying to avoid this main thoroughfare. Over here, I'm thinking this will probably be a main shopping center, because when we unlock it at least, most of the commercial that I'm going to initially put down over here, I'm thinking I'm going to want to change that up and do the mixed use commercial residential once we unlock it. And I'm thinking the high school, making a branch off this roundabout and putting the high school down in here, also connecting it up with this street here that comes off the couplet. And eventually we are going to bridge across over here as well. We probably will bridge across from our industrial sector out here as well to this side, because like I mentioned before, I'm really thinking that this will be my main downtown over here, with probably another smaller suburban area over here. Not sure what I'm going to do with this island out here. Maybe even just flatten it. We're not sure yet. We'll see. We'll play around with that when we get to it. But so yeah, let's go ahead and we are going to start zoning out this area as well. We are going to mix it up a little bit. Let me go ahead and do this area over here, because I am going to use the North American theme out here just to give some variety, but also make it sort of represent that this might be a newer development over here rather than the sort of older downtown over here. So we are just going to use the paint bucket tool over here just to quickly zone in everything out this way. We're not going to zone on this side of the road, even though this is some zoning areas, just because when we expand out this way, I'm assuming I'm going to probably add more zoning over here. And we are just going to make sure we're going to use paint bucket really quick, and then we're going to come through with the marquee tool and just cut back some of these larger zones. Let's cut them back to 3. I don't want them to be too close to the highway. These are all fine over here. Yeah, this is all fine. Alright, so that zone is zoned in. Now we're going to switch back to European, and we're going to do, I think, this is the other neighborhood I brought out. This one's more of a gridded neighborhood using roundabouts. Again, everything I took inspiration from Google Maps for, so, or at least try to get as close to it as possible. So we're going to go ahead and come through, and we're going to zone out a little bit of this for right now. We probably won't zone everything out. We'll wait till some of it starts coming in. And we do need some commercial. So let's go ahead and come in with our commercial zoning. And for this, we're going to use the marquee tool because we want to be pretty specific about the zoning. I think I'm going to put all the commercial on this side because this is where a lot of my services are eventually going to go to, like the fire station, med clinic, everything like that. I already think I have a good spot for the med clinic. I think it's going to go right there. In fact, we just unlocked it, so we could probably place it down really quick. But let's go ahead. We're going to come in. I think we're only going to make these 3 deep zones because I don't want the mixed use to be too big once we unlock it. So we'll leave these just 3 deep zones for now. We'll do a nice big zone here on the corner, see what comes in. Actually, let's leave that open for now. We'll see, because I do want to make a pedestrian crossway over the roundabout. So we'll see how much room we need for that first before we go ahead and play around with that. And then we're probably going to need a lot more commercial than that, but like I said, we'll see what happens. And then we're just going to come through. We're going to put down some industrial over here to start off with. Keeping it relatively small for now. Do a 3 deep. See what comes in. Let's mix it up. Do some 3 deep zones over here. Do one larger Ford. That way, I've noticed the smaller industrial areas don't tend to have as many smokestacks, so that's what we're going for. I don't want it to be like some ugly polluting area over there. I want it some sort of mixed zoning over there to try and break it up a little bit. Now we are going to need to add some services before we get going. We do need power. I could unlock some power options. Oh, wrong one. I could, if I wanted to, unlock the gas power plant. Oh no, I couldn't. Sorry, no, I couldn't even right away. So we do have only the basic power options. Excuse me. You could always just add a transformer and buy power from the outside. However, this area is actually pretty good for some wind turbines, so I think that's what I'm going to do. We might as well create our own, because we do have some spots over here that we get a good electricity production. We get a nice 5 megawatts out of here, so we can get 2, and there is some fertile farmland over here that we can use. So I think it would be neat to have the wind turbines and then the fertile farmland. So we're going to put down 2 for now. We got to connect them up. We are going to use an underground connection to connect them up. You want to use the regular electric cable and not the big power lines, because the power lines are for connecting. Basically, you would need the power lines for the out of town and then hooking things up to the transformer station. Whereas this, all we need to do is connect these up to this main area over here. I think that's connected. Keep having trouble not quite getting everything lined up perfectly for this. Looks like, yeah, it looks like it's all connected. Yeah, it's all connected. But we are going to have to come over here where this national line meets what I had to draw in, and we're going to have to bring in a line. Yep, that's connected. That is not connected though. So we gotta make sure it connects. There we go. I keep having trouble seeing where it connects and where it doesn't. There's 3 different options for water sources. You can add up water pumping stations, which you pump out of the water, or river water, lake water, any ocean water. You have the water tower, which is a good looking asset in this game. I mean, the water tower from the first one didn't look bad either, but it's really nice in this game. And this one you can place anywhere, but the water output's not as much. And then you have the groundwater pumping station, which there are groundwater deposits throughout the map, as you can see, and that you can tap into with this item here. Again, the water output's not as good as the water pumping station, but it is better than the water tower. But the issue with this is these groundwater deposits can run out over time if you pump too much. But we are going to go ahead, because we have this big body of water over here, we are going to go ahead and use the water pumping station. And I think a perfect spot for it is actually just going to be in this inlet. But you do want to make sure that the output is everything you can get from it. Might be better. Would it be okay over here? No, as you can see, the output is not very good over here as it is compared to over here. So this was probably going to be the best spot for it right there. Now we are going to have to connect a road up to it. We are just going to use this gravel road. We are just going to sort of just bend it up into, I think, probably towards the industrial area. And let's just connect up right over here. We are going to have more entrances into the industrial area, so I'm not worried about this being so close. Not to mention I don't foresee much traffic actually coming down towards this area. So let's just make sure, yep, power is flowing to it, and we should have water. Yes, but we are going to have to again hook up this area over here to the other pipes. Why is it saying overlapping item? Is it really because of the power line? Bumping into the power line, that's crazy. So we'll just come out a little bit. And it's still bumping into that power line, so there we go. There, it's all connected in. And we still need a sewage outlet as well, so we'll come over here and we'll put down our sewage outlet. And I found a perfect little spot for it over here. I think again, it has a slight inlet, so I think that would be a perfect natural position for it. And we are just going to come in, we'll just connect it up right over here. And it's connected. So those are all the services that you would start your city with. Again, we unlocked the first milestone already. So we do have access to healthcare and death care, as well as garbage management. Garbage management we can sell to the outside world right now, so I'm not too worried about having garbage production. Not to mention it's actually kind of expensive. So we are going to hold off on garbage management for now. We are going to go ahead and start running the city though, and start watching things come in as we start preparing our healthcare and death care, seeing as again we have it unlocked, so we might as well. And actually taking a look, we'll see how it comes out looking. I'm not sure I like the big houses coming in on these bit of a cul-de-sacs that I made. You could use just a regular roundabout, but then you can't put zoning on it. I did probably make these a little bit close, but we'll see how it looks once there's actually houses on it. So like I said, let's come in and we're going to put in our focal point of this city center, which is going to be the cemetery, and it should be, like I said, a perfect spot. Hopefully I measured everything correctly. Looks like I did for the most part. There's a little bit of extra space on either side, but we can live with that. We can add some trees or something to that. And yeah, now we have on our main thoroughfare the cemetery. And what I'm thinking behind the cemetery, if I left enough room, again, didn't pre-measure anything, I'm hoping that we could actually fit a university back there. So because we already got to our first milestone, we actually already have some demand for medium density residential, so we are going to start putting in some row housing. I've been debating where exactly I want the row housing to go, because a lot of times, as you can see, the zoning has been broken. Whenever you putting in grids too tight, it's very hard to get perfect zoning in this game, from what I find. I mean, there are tricks to it. And like the row housing tends to look better when the zones are all lined up, so there isn't a lot of great spots for some row housing through here. Although, thinking maybe, how deep is this? So we got 4 on each side. Thinking this might be some good spots for some row housing right up here. See how it looks when those come in. Let's also take a look, like I said, at our medical center. I'm thinking I'd put a path right down there. That's why I left that spot open. And like I said, I think I left a spot good enough right here for it. The question is, though, did I leave enough room for its expansion? Yes, there's just enough room for its expansion. So that's good. I'll take it. We're not going to put the expansion down now, but we just got to remember nothing else is going to go in that spot. And what else? I think that's going to be it for now. Because we got the cemetery in, we got the med clinic in. Like I said, we could want just to fill in the space. We could probably put down some bushes or something to line the space out. We could even use paths to sort of connect up. I don't think they'd be able to use them. But the cemetery is a beautiful asset. I really think it looks really good. And I'm glad that they dropped that newest patch, which just improved the graphics for us who are running lower quality rigs. Because it looked good before, but it looks just even a little bit more crisper, and everything just seems to run a little bit more smoothly. As you can see, we're starting to get people moving in, a lot of moving trucks, a lot of cars starting to make their way in. This neighborhood is filling out quite nicely. I did remember to switch back to the European zone, right? Yeah, I did. Okay. That would have been bad if I didn't. Yeah, these are all the European zones. And you can see the difference between the European zoning. So if we take a look at these houses that are coming in over here compared to the North American zoning, as you take a look at what's coming in over here. Now, a lot of the smaller American zoning honestly isn't quite the best. As you can see, it's still rendering in, but it's not. I honestly like the bigger North American zoning compared to the smaller ones. Most of the smaller units, they kind of just look like trailers, which honestly is something you see here in the States, but some of the larger zonings look much better. I'm trying to pick out a few, but overall, for the most part in this game, I think most of the time the European zoning looks so much better in almost every case than the American zoning. Most of the American zoning is kind of lame and pretty lackluster. I guess North American, not necessarily just American. So let's go ahead. We're going to speed this up. Trying to get to the second milestone. It looks like we are going to need a lot more industrial. So let's come over here. Put down a little bit more industrial. Fill in these spots that we left open. As you can see, some of the assets that have come in do have the smokestacks, but a lot of the industrial, the smaller ones, don't. So it does look nice and vary it up. I have a few that do. We are going to add some bigger zoning over here for big factories as well. We are definitely going to need a lot more residential zoning. Low density and medium density. So let's just come in. We'll start filling in the rest of this neighborhood over here with some of our low density. There we go. This neighborhood will be filled out. And again, the European zoning just so much nicer. It is, I've noticed a little bit that most of the zoning for low density is just very blocky. I mean, you have some really nice assets like this one, but a lot of them are just very much these blocks, and that goes to, for the same thing over here with the American zoning. Everything is just extremely square for the most part. So you don't get the very nice like ranch style homes and everything you see in the vanilla of the first game. I'm going to knock out these two deep zones because I do want to try and make sure most of my row housing is, of course, the bigger zones. We're just going to come across, do that. And then I think we'll have these row homes facing inwards. We'll have a few more over here. And as you can see, it looks like it's reading the zoning weird here, because they're not coming in. So if we just come through like this, is that... Oh, it's just because we don't have the demand. Never mind. The demand went down almost immediately. We do need more commercial though. And I think a good spot to add some more of this commercial will be right in here. Right in front of the med clinic. That's interesting that it changed the zoning like that. So we'll just leave some zoning right there. We're going to leave this middle space empty, I think, and some just park green throughout this couplet system will be nice. We already need some more industrial, so let's come over here. We are going to have to expand this. Figured we were going to, but let's go ahead. We'll purchase this tile. And probably... it might look funky if I don't. We're going to go ahead and purchase this tile as well, just so we can play around with the landscaping and make it all look pretty uniform. And we are going to come in, we're going to find this height. We just right click to find the height. We are just going to continue to expand this lower level. We're going to connect up these two areas over here, try and make it a little uniform, and then bring this up the rest of the way. And we are going to keep a somewhat flat zone here. So we're going to add this lower area so to knock back some of this terrain over here. I think that might be a good spot to end it, so we'll just smooth this out, widen it just slightly, and then we'll come through with these smoothing tool. We'll smooth this out, and then we'll just come through and smooth all that out. We might make it another retaining wall behind it, but let's go ahead and just work on this lower level first. Now to get a retaining wall in here, we'll just do a small section over here for now. I'm going to want to try and make this a bit more of a straight edge coming across. And then best way I found to do the retaining wall, find a little bit of a lower section, sort of make a lower section right below it. Again, try and make this as straight as possible. We might need to also bring it out over here so we can draw on this road length, and then we can just bring it back again after we're done. So we'll just come to our road, and is it going to work for us? We might need to bring it out a little bit more, it looks like. It's not quite registering it. Okay. Alright, so yeah, it's reading it now, but for the most part, it's still not reading the end quite as much. So let's keep trying to bring some more in. Might be too much. See if that works. So that's much better. So you want to keep your eye on that gradient, that negative 6%, and you want to get that as close to 0 as possible. So it looks like -5 might be the closest we can get to 0, or -0.5. It's fluctuating a lot there. Where'd that 5 go? I guess 0.6. Well, we'll go with the 0.6 seeing as it's being finicky here. Oh, you know what? That's probably why I wasn't on straight road tool. Let's see what happens now. Yeah, -0.03. That's more like it. There we go. And we'll continue out this in the time lapse. We won't mess around too much right now. We're just trying to add a little bit more zoning to this. And I'll come up. We'll see about meeting these two roads up. Actually, we don't want to go that far up. Let's come up to find the 90 for one. Then we can just come across like that. How's that? And then this one we can just meet up with these two. Because like I said, we are going to add a second layer of height up here. I think that will look good. And then we're just going to come through and paint in the rest of the zone. And then we could get something here. We're putting our... No, that's not going to work. How about if we just come through with the path right here. And delete this out with that. No, so we are just going to have to put the path right here, and then we get a nice 2 deep. I guess it would be okay not to have the whole thing filled out. There we go. So we added a little bit more industrial. Our commercial demand's gone back up. We are already almost at milestone level 2. So where would we be in a good spot to add some more commercial? Probably just on either side of the road right here. Again, this is mostly going to be commercial. I do want to mix it up with some residential. That's why we are putting in these homes. Again, I want those to come in as 4 deeps. And again, this This makes a little perfect spot for a path to come right across. Just to break it up a little bit. And we can decorate around that in the future. Once we unlock the medium density over the row housing, we could throw in some medium density into the areas that might not, where we don't want to break up the look of all the row housing. Again, we want to leave this open, so maybe we come up here or something with some more row housing. Actually, let's come right. See what happens if we were to come down like this. It's a little bit of a slope here, but I don't think it's going to be too terrible. We can put some on this side of the street as well. We'll see how it handles the sort of slope terrain there with all this row housing. Hopefully it gives us a good aesthetic. And we do need some more low density, so we'll come over to this neighborhood. We do have a few more spots we can fill in just along this road here. Don't have to put some there, and then we can also have this area as well to fill in. Again, I don't want to put it on this main arterial or main collector right here. So we will just do the whole path trick, see if that, yeah, that would expand the zone so we can get some bigger housing in possibly along this road. Seeing as that did help a little bit, but we are going to have to go ahead and put some more housing in. I don't want to put housing in on this side because this is where essentially I want the train tracks to eventually come down and connect in. So we will leave this all open for now. So yeah, we get some nice bigger zoning coming in over here. And yeah, over here everything's filled out perfectly. I don't mind this too much, the way the houses came in. I meant to leave these more smaller houses like this, but it all came in pretty well. Except a little bit over there. And we did unlock milestone level 2 now, so we can go ahead and look at our progression panel. And what that gives us is that gives us education and research, which gives us elementary school and high school. Gives us access to taxation. Gives us the medium density housing, so that's going to be the apartment buildings. And it did increase our loan limits, but we are going to try and avoid loan limits or doing any loans at the moment. And what we want to do with the development points we got, we want to immediately unlock the college. And I am going to unlock advanced road services as well. And we're going to come in and we're going to put down pretty much all of our education. So we are just going to come up. Let's go ahead and put down our elementary school first. And did I leave enough room? I did. I was pretty sure I did, but I wasn't positive. And I did make sure I put a roundabout at the end of the road. In fact, that actually came in almost perfectly. I didn't pre-measure that, even though it looks like I did. And although did I not, I don't think I left enough room for the children's clinic. Just barely, not enough room. Oh well, I don't think the children's clinic, it's +5 health for the students, which does help with the overall health of the community, but it's not necessarily the best, most needed thing. We can do the well-being bonus for this one. Gives it for the playground. It gives us +5 well-being for our students and +10 for the well-being of the whole community. And yeah, we definitely have room for that. And I think it would look just fine right next to that roundabout. We are going to have buses, which is why I have the roundabout. So it'll just make it easier to drop people off at the school. And I think it actually just fits perfectly right there. So, yep, there we have our elementary school. Coming over here, we do have some more demand, so we might want to, before we put down anything else, where would be a good spot to put down some more medium density? Well, we have the spot over there, although, again, I think this time it is reading it to try and come in over there. So let's see what happens if I draw this out. Yeah, that's what it was doing. It was trying to read it to come in over there. So now we have all those coming in. Take that road out. And yeah, we can go ahead and put this in as well. And we should be able to put this. Oh, Don't want that. Put these two homes in as well. So they start coming in. And actually that would be a nice spot right here for an apartment building, I think. Right along that main road here. I don't mind putting apartment buildings along the main road, but I definitely don't want like low density residential here. Let's see how the game handled it. The game handles uneven terrain much better than Cities Skylines 1. And I think it actually when it comes to row housing, I think it gives a really nice aesthetic as you just climb up through here. So we'll have that coming in. Now we need to worry about our high school. Although we do have some more commercial demand. Do I want to take care of that right now? I guess we can go ahead and put commercial on the other side of this road here. Totally forgot about this strip. Again, at the very least, the inner section of commercial over here is definitely going to be all mixed density. So I don't want to go too crazy. In fact, this is all the commercial I'm probably going to leave over here and turn it into small density. And I'm going to start building out more of a shopping center over here. But let's go ahead and work in my school, my high school. And I definitely want to come off at sort of a right angle here as best as I can. There we go. I'm going to cut that back a little. I don't want it sticking out that far because okay, and then I'm just going to have it sort of curve its way into this road here. Want to meet it up at a right angle. There we go. And where would be, do we want the high school? It's more than enough space. I think we'll just have the high school. I don't want it on the main road. Or would it? We'll have it just off the main road. I don't plan on putting in the football field. Where's the... Okay. Just trying to plan out. Want to leave some space for like parking and everything, as well as pathing. So I think we'll come off one more. We'll put it right here. I think that'll be a fine spot for it. Just off the main roadway. We will just sort of come up. We'll use an alleyway for this. Come up and then across. Oop. Straight road tool would be nice. And then we'll just sort of box in around it. What is overlapping over here? There we go. And then it's all boxed in. And then we can we might have to expand it out a little bit. Again, just for a turnaround point for the buses. There you go. And we have our high school down, and we'll of course detail up around this as well. Probably add some, I don't know, maybe some residential back here, maybe some commercial, we'll see. Maybe some mixed use when we get it. So we do have a lot of demand again. So let's come over here. We have some industrial demand to use up. Let's go ahead. We'll bring a road through the back here. That's sort of thrown off some of our zone over here, but it'll be okay. Let's go ahead. Maybe we'll mass zone this right there and see what comes in. See if any like big factories come in. It looks like one did. So that's all we'll leave right there. That's all I really wanted was one big factory, at least on that lower level. We do need more commercial. We do need more residential demand. So we did fill in the rest of that smaller suburb. So we do have this one up here we can use up. Don't want to build it too close to the school, so we will be careful where we zone in over here. And no, I don't want that there. Sorry. Put one here. We won't put anything in front of that school. Don't think it would look nice to have anything right there. And then up here we can sort of mass zone. Didn't get that zoning in time, but that's okay. We'll just switch to the paint tool. Or the fill tool is what it's technically called, not the paint tool. See how all this comes in. There is a bit of a rough terrain up here, but we'll see how it all comes in. And for low density, we've already pretty much eaten up all the spaces I've reserved for low density, so we probably are going to have to go ahead and unlock some zoning over here where we're going to have more low density out this way. We do have the need though for a little bit more medium density. So I think this might be a good spot for some row housing. Again, I'm more or less like the 4 deep row housings. Although it looks like I did put some 5 deeps or 6 deeps, didn't I, right over here? That's okay, I guess. I definitely don't want the 2 deeps. The 2 deeps are really nice. They're really great for building like really small communities, like small villages and whatnot. But for something that's going to be a little bit bigger like this, I definitely want the zoning to be a little bit deeper. And we are starting to get pretty long into this episode. We have gone almost an hour at this point. So I definitely want to speed this up quite a little bit. So this will be good for more zoning. Oh, you know what? We didn't put down the college like I wanted. Did we leave enough room though back here? Ooh, it's tight. We might have to terraform out if we want it perfectly lined up. Let's see. Because I think I'm trying to find the middle point of the. I want it just to all line up, so I think this will be lined up. But yes, we do need to terraform just a little bit more. I didn't quite leave enough space. We can clean this up afterwards to smooth it out. So we just need a little bit of extra space. Again, trying to find the middle zone so they line up. I think that's roughly what we're looking at. And that unlocked milestone level 3, which also unlocks livestock farming, stone mining, of course, service budgets and loan limits as well. Fire and rescue, the firehouse, police administration, and of course the police station. For development, is there anything we want to spend it on right now? Don't think there is. We are going to want to put in a university. The reason I'm focusing on education is because education plays a pretty pivotal role in the quality of citizens you get in, specifically early on in the game. So we will come through, we will just sort of smooth this out. I do want it butted up. I don't know if I want it butted up that close to the cliffs though, so let's give it a little bit of extra space. Bring it out just a little bit more on all sides. Then we'll maybe add some like tree lining behind it. I think we need to bring it out just slightly more. We'll clean it up during the time lapse too, I think. Went a little far there, but I think that's okay. I think we might actually need that. And then we can just sort of bring the brush strength down a little bit. Let's bring it actually down to 10 while we get around here, and then we'll just, yeah, there we go. That's a little bit better. smooth all this out. Can have cut back a little bit more there. There we go. I do like the look of that. It's a bit of a sheer rock face, but it's not terrible. It's not that bad. Okay, well, we can live with that. We'll probably add some like heavy zoning around it. Again, I don't know. We might add the college library, and we just actually have just enough room to add the college library on that side if we wanted. That side is a little more janky. This would probably be better. We probably don't need it right now. Provides students with better chances of graduating, but I don't think we need it right now. People are complaining about jobs. So I think we will go into a little bit of a time lapse here as we just clean things up. We'll start adding a little bit more zoning and everything. And we'll go ahead and add the firehouse and police station as well. I'm trying to think of good places for both of those. The police station might work right here, but I think we might have to smooth out the terrain if we want to put the police station here. Let's just see how bad it looks if I put it right here. Yeah, that's pretty bad. We might have to find a different spot for the police station. I did want something to be at the end of this road because I thought it would look nice. Maybe the firehouse would look pretty good over there. And maybe we could put the police station maybe right over here, right off that. Let's take a look. Let's just have it come up right off this roadway. Did want all my services in town though. So is there any other spots? Let's just could put it over here. I mean, we could put it right down here as well. Might play around with it. We'll see what happens. Could have it right off the university as well. Like I said, I want most of this to be residential zoning over here, so I don't want to play too much. I mean, I don't know if a police station right in the middle of that would look good. So let's just put it over here for now. Doesn't look terrible as you're coming down this road. I think it looks okay as you round that corner. But yeah, it definitely has the look of a building that wouldn't necessarily be in the downtown area. So let's just put it there for now. We can always come back to it. And for the fire station, I think near the cemetery would look nice, just because it definitely still has like a very churchy look to it, just like the historical fire stations do in the other game. But that might work over here. It's not the flattest terrain, but let's see. Build a little bit of a. I'm not sure how much I need to come out. Oop. Guess it helps if I attach the roadway. Ooh, that works perfectly. And I do like that look. I actually really like that. That's a great spot for it, I think. We could decorate around it. Maybe delete these trees, make our own tree lining, some paths around it. That would look good. It is right up on the butt of this cliff too. Yeah, I think that's a good spot for that. So let's go ahead and we'll go into our time lapse really quickly and pretty this up a bit. Alright, and that'll about do it for this episode. Not a whole lot of detailing to do. Uh, did go ahead and make this a bit of a part green down here. I think that was probably one of the bigger things we did. We did continue to add a little bit more housing and zoning. There was a bit of an awkward space here, so I just threw an apartment down there. But I'm actually really loving how the row housing is coming in on these hills here. I can't wait to have like this whole area filled in with the row housing if we go that far. There is a little bit of awkward zoning everywhere, so it is going to be hard to get in really nice looking row housing, although little small spots right here would be nice as well through here. But we'll fill out the rest of the city in the next episode. I know we didn't do a whole lot today, at least it doesn't feel like that. But we did get all of our services down. I think that was nice. This pedestrian overchange, or oh god, not overchange. What's it called? Uh, elevated pathway. Geez, I think came out looking pretty nice. Definitely gives the whole city a nice aesthetic, especially as you're coming in. I definitely love the new covered pedestrian pathways that you can do. We're going to continue filling out this main section of town next episode. I think that's what we're really going to be focusing on, just making all this look good, especially as you look at our demand. We did put in a little bit of low density residential over by the high school. Probably should have made this American zoning because this is supposed to be represent a newer part of town. So a little bit of a missed opportunity there, though I could always just go back and change that, but I think it'll be fine for now with what we're doing. But yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and expand town next time. Trying to think of what else I did for detailing. Not much detailed around the firehouse down here. A little bit around the school. Put some apple trees out front of the school because I thought that was, Apple's school. Yeah, it's a bit corny, but I did it anyway. But yeah, just that's about it. Like I said, just mostly just putting down trees, a few pathways here and there, filling in some everything. But like I said, next episode is really just gonna be filling in this town and making it look a little bit more like a bustling downtown area. It's really what we're gonna be focusing on next episode. This episode was really just putting in the bones of the town. Went through, used a bit of our uh, advanced roadway tools, add some tree lining to our streets. Unfortunately, you can't choose what trees you have on your streets, but it's, again, there's a bunch of things from the City Skylines 1 that I just don't understand why it didn't make it into this game, but those are all just a bit of petty gripes at the moment. We'll see how things come out as things move forward with the game. But yeah, that's where we're going to leave it, guys. Sorry for all the waffling. Hopefully I'll get better at being a better presenter for City Skylines 2 and City Skylines itself. But having a lot of fun. I think the new game, it has its drawbacks, but I think overall it's a really good game, and I can't wait to continue to build out this town with you and see where we can go. Again, if you are from Europe and you live in a European town, I'd love some insights about how to build out a true looking European cityscape. I think I'm not doing too bad at the moment, but any insights would be greatly appreciated, so leave it down in the comments. And yeah, I do also I meant to point out, I do love how the petrol station came in right off the roundabout here. And in fact, one last thing before we go, I built this overchange so we can get rid of these, or the pedestrian thing, so we can get rid of the crosswalks and really prioritize traffic on the roadway. So there we go. It's now focusing on the roads and the drivability and leaving the pedestrians who are using the pathway. It's nice to see. I wasn't sure if anybody would, but we have, who is this, Brittany Shelby coming across, going home from work more than likely. So yeah, everybody, thank you all for watching. I hope you all continue to to tune in and enjoy the series with me and enjoy City Skylines 2 with me. As for now, well, bye.